MTHFR. Everybody's Googling this genetic mutation. I'm Robin Openshaw, the Green Smoothie Girl online, and I want to talk to you about the MTHFR gene. People keep telling me that this gene is why they have health problems, and their functional medicine practitioner supports this narrative and prescribes them stuff because they have the MTHFR genetic SNP. People Google, is the MTHFR gene serious? And should I worry about the MTHFR? Also, what happens if you have the MTHFR? And what should I do if I have the MTHFR gene? Here's the problem. The human genetic code is made up of 20,000 to 25,000 genes. Nobody really knows how many, and we have absolutely no idea what most of the genetic code does. And actually, the vast majority of us have some form of the MTHFR SNP. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's 100% of us. I've asked dozens of functional medicine doctor friends of mine, and none of them can tell me that we don't all have the MTHFR gene, even though 10 years ago they certainly did not know this, and they love diagnosing people with it. So now, if you push and poke a little, they'll probably admit to you that we all have it, but the current obsession is that the MTHFR gene mutates or takes different forms in different people. For some years, functional medicine doctors have been telling people that they need methylated B vitamins. And even though it wasn't actually getting results, telling people to take these pills, some of them are still happy to tell you this story and sell you a B vitamin complex, which is a pretty good gig because you can diagnose pretty much anyone who walks in the door and sell them all the same solution. So why do genetic researchers hone in on a couple dozen genetic SNPs if there are up to 25,000 of them? I've been researching this for years, and it seems to me that if they can find in mice and rat trials a gene that gets mutated or disabled in rodents, then they see a big profit potential in drugs they can develop and market to prescribe to people with that gene. And then funding flows to research on just a few genes to try to develop billion-dollar drugs. Researchers who want to study other lesser known genes just can't get funding. Industries have grown up around just a few genes, and millions of people take supplements or drugs because some doctor told them that they have the MTHFR, for instance. It's a brilliant profit play that preys on the ignorance of the people who have no idea that everyone they know actually has some form of the MTHFR gene. They just happen to pay some lab for some testing to be told that. It very much reminds me of the virus hunters, the billions of government dollars, which is to say your dollars, that pay hundreds of thousands of scientists all over the world to try to connect viruses to symptoms or symptom clusters. These scientists pay no attention to toxic exposures or any other cause of disease. They just chase viruses, even though they've made billion and trillion-dollar mistakes incorrectly attributing a virus to an illness. And most of the people of the world are none the wiser and just keep taking drugs for a virus that doesn't even cause the disease they're worried about. Most of us have every virus in us that you could possibly test for, and we coexist peacefully with them our whole lives. As in, if they set the cycle threshold low enough, every person listening to this would test positive for the virus called HIV, the one called Epstein-Barr, the one called COVID, the one called strep, the one called staph. You get the idea. Virus hunting is mega billion-dollar industry, and so is gene hunting. When we get sick, it's not because we have the MTHFR gene or because something's wrong with it or because some virus got into our body. It's because we become weakened with more toxicity than our organs of elimination can handle. And the body got out of homeostasis where the right genes expressed at the right time back when we were in homeostasis. Think back to when you used to feel healthy and good. And the viruses and bacteria and other microbes we call pathogens that have always been in us since the day we were born and might even have positive functions in the body get out of balance. When we're too toxic, the mold, yeast, viruses, parasites, and bacteria that have always been in us proliferate out of control. That's when we have a problem. In a state of homeostasis, they are minor and they do not make us sick. I've been on a mission for 17 years to help people find the state of health, the homeostasis, rather than chasing viruses, genetic mutations, and drugs for every symptom. The key to being healthy and feeling great without the constant drugs and surgeries is to detoxify. This is where I've helped over 19,000 people now. I'd love to invite you to watch the video Cliff's Notes of my 25 years of studying how the human body detoxifies in a free short video series. I think you'll find it very enlightening, and please note that the last of the 4 short videos explains why when people physically detoxify, they also tend to find great emotional healing as well. I'll see you inside the detox video class.